Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Normal Entertainment. I am Merrick D'Amato, and it's that time of month again. Film Swap. Film Swap is where myself and Tommy Knocker, the horror guy, pick a movie and give it to the other one to watch and review and give our thoughts. Generally, something the other hasn't seen before or hasn't seen for long enough to be able to review it. With a mostly fresh mind, and a personal rule for me for movies I give Tommy Knocker. They have to have been movies I've already reviewed. He doesn't have that same restriction. He's fairly new to the YouTube thing and doesn't have quite the backlog that I do. So today's movie, the one he gave me to watch for this month, is Mother's Day. That would be the 1980s slasher film Mother's Day. Two brothers kidnap and brutalize three women for the pleasure of their demented mother. It is an hour and 31 minutes long, unrated. They got a 5.3 out of 10. Hope it's better than last month's Tammy and the T-Rex, which just kind of hurt to talk about and watch. This one looks like it's going to be a good, fun slasher. I think I've seen a review of this before a long time ago in the early Cinema Snob days, a review by Brad Jones. But without further ado, trailer, and then we'll talk about this.
Somewhere in the woods of Deep Barren, a woman and her sons live in isolation. When they come out, it's for one reason only.
Now let's see what you brought, Mother.
Some say she spoiled her boys. Some say she drove them mad. No one who found out has lived to tell.
Darlings, you have made your mother very proud.
Charles Kaufman's Mother's Day.
My boy.
Jackie, Abby, and Trina have come to the wilderness for a weekend of fun. Little do they know that out there something lies watching, waiting. Someone's coming. They're getting closer. There's nowhere to run, no one to hear you scream. When you know how to celebrate, every day is Mother's Day. From the darkest corner of the imagination to the outermost reaches of insanity and terror comes a celebration of mayhem. Charles Kaufman's Mother's Day. No one can escape on Mother's Day because Mother's Day never ends.
Alright, so that movie pleasantly surprised. Also, yes, obviously, this video is coming out on Mother's Day. And it's the movie Mother's Day. That was intentional. So, we start out, there's this, life coach guy called Ego. It's an acronym for something, can't remember what it is, doesn't matter. There's this old lady with a neck brace who offers two people there, I think they're hippies, a ride home. I think they're planning to steal the car. It's like to kill and steal the car. I don't know. It's hinted at, but this is a horror comedy, so it's really hard to tell sometimes. But it turns out that she actually Uno reverses them and her two sons, big guy in an Air Force helmet without the goggles, called Ike, and a lither guy in this kind of like balaclava mask thing called Adler. Yeah, Ike and Adler. They rush him, decapitate the guy with a machete, and sexually assault the woman. There is a lot of sexual assault in this movie. It's not the worst I've seen. The most uncomfortable I've seen is still Last House on the Left. I will never review that movie because I do not want to sit through it again. But it is a rape revenge, but it's more revenge than rape, which is, I think, the way to handle that kind of thing. It is, despite that, very, very fun film. In parts, though. Very funny. So that happens. And then there's some girls doing college stuff. There's a trio of girls in college called the Rat Pack. These are Trina, Abby, and Jackie. And they're about to graduate. And they're talking about staying friends, where they're going to go, the pranks they pulled, like lowering one of them out of the dorms in a sleeping bag and getting them out safe. That's actually important. That comes back into the movie later. And then we time jump 10 years. Trina is living in Beverly Hills, and I believe she is rich, or married to a rich guy. Also, this is unique for slasher films like this that I've seen. All the three women are all in their late 20s, early 30s. I mean, granted, they always are, but they're not pretending to be teenagers. The characters are actually in their late 20s, early 30s, which is refreshing. She's there. She gets a Western Union telegram. Then who's this other one? It's either Abby or Jackie. I think Abby. She's in Chicago and she's living with her sick mother, who's berating her for basically doing anything but taking care of her. And then she gets a Western Union and goes off. And then we're in New York with Jackie, who has a shit boyfriend who steals money from her wallet. And is just a shit in general. And they all get together in New Jersey, and then they go off on a camping trip. Camping in the rough, by the way. Trina isn't down for this. This is Jackie's idea. She doesn't like it. They stop on the way. They stop at a general store for some stuff, and Jackie goes in, and then Trina and Abby come in with paper bag masks over their heads and fucking destroy the place accidentally. They knock over fucking everything. And I feel for the shop owner. I feel for the shop owner. I've worked in a shop like this. I've had customers intentionally destroy shit, and that's one thing. But just the blasé, accidental knocking shit over just is somehow more infuriating. They're going out to some barrens. I can't remember the name, like Deer Barrens to Dead Barrens place. So they're camping, they're telling stories, and then they get captured by Ike and Adley and brought to the house. The house is a very, very cool setting. There's graffiti all over the walls. The children are the guys are. Well, they're the two sons of Mother. I'm surprised she's not credited as Ma or ever called Ma. She's just played by Beatrice Pons from Car 34. Where are you? They do a joke with it, but before there's a joke with a knife, that comes into play sort of later. But they capture them, and they tie them up in a workout room, and then Jackie gets brought out. They rehearse some possible rape/abduction scenarios using her. And then they just sexually assault her. And it's not a lot of it. It's not... It cuts away, thank fuck, but it's rough while it happens. You get... Then it's the next day, you see the boys' room, which is full of kids' shit. And Sesame Street. There's a fucking Big Bird alarm clock. A bunch of toys arranged in like battle scenes, and then you see them in the bathroom. They're brushing their teeth with beer, apparently. Whatever, I'm no one to judge. Actually, no, I am someone to judge. Everything these people do is fucking disgusting. which helps, because they're such... Usually in kind of slasher films, this is kind of a slasher film, it kind of... And I find myself kind of rooting for Jason sometimes. Not necessarily rooting for Freddy, but Freddy's just... He's so... With the at least in 1 and 3, with the wisecrack, with the wisecracks in 3, and just his presence in the first movie. And he's kind of charming. The tall man is just fucking phenomenal in every respect. But I'm kind of a stan for the tall man. He's great. Michael in the first one, he adds his presence, his charm. They're compelling. These guys, you fucking hate them. You hate them immediately. They are hateable. And that's good, because there's actually some fairly emotional moments with the women later on. So it helps you want them to survive, want them to win, because of how shitty the killers are. But they have this long argument, where Adley says disco sucks. To which Ike responds, "Punk is stupid." No, Adley says, "Disco sucks." No, Adley says, "Punk sucks." To which Ike responds, "Disco's stupid." And it goes on like this. And I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but I found it funny. But then they go through this whole... They want to check on the girls, but their ma's like, no, go out and do your exercises. And I think she's training them either to be the greatest slashers in the world, or like to protect her from a character called Queenie, who I thought at first was like a bear, but is revealed to be like her sister from who was also a slasher, like Ma's sister. It's a whole thing. Not going to mention Queenie again, probably. So they're doing their training. Forgot to mention fun little reference early on. When they go to the shop that they fuck up. There's 2 kids with banjos. And of course, they do the Deliverance. This does have kind of the air of Deliverance, but it's women, and it's not played straight. It's Deliverance with women played for laughs. So while they're doing this, the girls actually escape with the sleeping bag trick. Weirdly, it's Trina who escapes, and Abby who lowers her down. Strangely, the string of the sleeping bag makes her hands bleed. Like, it cuts deep furrows in her hands, and they're gushing like red paint blood. I don't know. Like, it shows the string. It's like relatively thick nylon. It's not like a rope, but it's you've had sleeping bags or like it's this like drawstring. It's that kind of like thin, like smooth nylon drawstring thing. I don't think Trina's heavy enough for her weight to make this thick string cut. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It just seemed weird to me. It's not thin enough to cut. Anyway, her hands are bleeding. But they do manage to... They find the room. They find a severed head in the bedroom closet. And a corpse who I thought was Jackie. But no, Jackie's in the drawer somehow. But they get her. They escape. Ike goes after them. They do get pretty far away, and they hide in the woods. And they're looking after... Abby stays to look after Jackie. Trina goes to get help. She meets a cop car, but it's... Obviously. You've seen this trick happen when they call the cops in Hills of Eyes. It's, blanking on the name. It's Ike. Ike is the cop, and Ike in disguise is the cop. Tries to bring her back. Chase ensues. Picks up a rock. And I thought she was going to just brain the fucker. But she throws it in a bush to distract him. And he dives. He has this whole thing where he dives out of windows or dives through fences or dives onto things. He dives through the bush and rolls all the way down, down a huge hill. I was hoping he'd knock his head on a rock or impale himself on a tree, but no such luck. He will die though. He will die. Don't you worry. This man is a corpse. He just doesn't know it yet. So Jackie dies. So I keep blanking on these names. I'm bad with names. Trina and Abby mourn her, scream. And find their campsite, get their shit together. Their car's been fucked up, by the way. The engine's been fucked, so they can't escape that way. So they go back to the house with a whole bunch of gear, including a hatchet. We hear more about Queenie. So you get the idea. This family's been doing this for a fucking while. This is not new. And the family gets, they're watching TV. Ike's in the doghouse. Well, not literally. He's in trouble. Adley goes to the door. Sees it being picked with the car antenna. Yeah. Then he gets killed. He's killed. He is stabbed in the neck, not fatally, with the antenna. He gets a hatchet to the balls, well deserved. Then he gets gagged and strangled until he's dead. Ike comes in, goes fucking beast mode on them. They force feed him drain cleaner first, which makes him foam up blood from his mouth, which I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna test that to experiment. And then he gets a TV on his head. But he goes down, but he's still kicking. And then they, Abby, no, not Abby. Abby takes someone else out. Jackie, no, she's dead. Trina stabs him to death with one of those electric carving knives, which I've never seen outside of movies. I think they're an 80s thing. I don't think they were a thing by the time I was noticing kitchen appliances. And they go to the basement, and they're gonna kill Ma. She starts screaming that she's a sick woman. So Jackie has a mental break. No, Abby has a mental breakdown because of her experience with her mother, and there's for some reason a pair of inflatable breasts. Don't question it. They're not even realistic inflatable. They're like transparent, except for the nipples, and they're there because why the fuck not? And she metaphor, and this is a whole big metaphor, smothers Ma to death with the inflatable breasts. That is a sentence I do not think I'd have to say. And then she's dead. That they escape, but oh no, they get attacked by this like wolf woman, which is Trina, which is the what long. She's shaggy and she has the long hair and she jumps out of the bushes at them, Queenie, and then the movie's over. And I gotta say, I liked this one. This was a fun movie. The sexual assault scenes aside, I had fun watching this. I might actually watch it again. Interesting things to note. This kind of feels like what Jason would be if he wasn't killed. Like if he never drowned at the lake. I have a feeling, at least the movies down the line kind of confirm that Pamela Voorhees was already crazy. This kind of seems what would happen if nothing happened to either of them and she got to raise him more. He'd probably turn out like this. Interestingly, this came out in 1980. That's before Friday the 13th Part 2. So the scare with Queenie predates Jason coming through the window at the end of Part 2. So I think that may have... Those people who made that may have seen this and borrowed that idea. Because it's... Yeah, there's the jump scare with the boat, with young Jason in the lake in Part 1. But the scene from Part 2 was shot almost exactly like this scene. I think there's some... Interpretate. People are borrowing ideas from each other, and it works. Anyway, this was Film Swap. I gave Tommy Knocker a pretty fun movie to watch this month. I hope he likes it, and I'll see you in the next whatever. Still got usual Mind Breakers going until the end of the month, and then we take a break. And we still got Let's Play stuff coming out, so... Happy Mother's Day to any mothers who might be watching. Not going to say Happy Mother's Day to my own mother. She's definitely not watching this. And I'll see you on the other side. Ciao, guys.